Hello guys, how are you doing today? Welcome to Skillmon YouTube channel. और आज हम बात करने वाले हैं प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट के बारे में, how to become a project manager, and most importantly how I cleared my PMP exam some years ago. And please stay till the end. You will also see my tips how I cleared my exams, and we will start with the video, and we will talk about the role of project manager. We will talk about the skills required to be a project manager. We will also talk about what courses and certifications you can do to become a project manager. We will also talk about what are the industries where they need project managers. We will also talk about what are the different earning options that you can do to work as a project manager. So stay till the end guys. Don't leave the videos in between. I think you will lose a lot of data that I will cover in this video. So what does project manager do? So basically he is the person responsible from planning a project, implementing the project, monitoring the project, controlling the project, and finally closing the project. So he is the person who will be involved right from conception to implementation. He would be the person who will be involved as a main leader for that project. And some examples of project manager is, whether it's a marketing project manager, it could be education project manager, it could be event project manager, it could be software development project manager. So almost every industry has this project manager role, and they play a vital role. Trust me guys, they play the most important role in managing and completing the project according to the timelines, according to the budget, and according to the schedule. So what are the roles and responsibilities of a project manager? Number one and most important is he has to create a plan, a project plan that has clear goals, objectives, and deliverables. That means whatever project the company is going to start, he has to create a plan that clearly specifies what are the goals of this project, what are the objectives of this project, and what are the final deliverables. That is number one, very important. If you don't prepare a project plan properly, I think the project would face a lot of hurdles during the project process. Number two is he is also responsible for monitoring the entire project, in the sense that whether the project is under the timeline, under the budget, under the quality that is expected out of it. And third one is again a very important, that he has to manage a team. He has to assign the task to the team members, and then he will have to monitor their performance, their progress. The project manager has to track the performance of all the team members. So that is number three. The fourth one is, since project manager is a person who communicates with all the stakeholders. So he will communicate with all the stakeholders directly or indirectly involved with the project. So the communication about the project status, reports, any risk that he foresee in terms of timeline, in terms of budget. So across all the spectrums of the projects, he has to do a proper communication with the team and with the stakeholders. Stakeholders again can be internal or it can be external. So communication is the fourth very, very important point, guys. So the last one is, the project manager has to monitor and control the entire project, whether the project is of a week or months or years, but he has to monitor and control. He has to look at all the aspects of a project, whether it is a timeline, quality, team members, whether it is budget, everything he has to take care of and monitor and control on that perspective. And lastly, he has to close a project properly. That means closing a project would mean the summary of the entire project. Basically, what all were the goals and objectives he has to mention in that document. Then he will also have to cite that what they were able to achieve against the planned objective. That is very important. Then whatever the learnings were there in the project, he has to mention in that plan. So learning is there, achievements are there, and any kind of risk that they saw or any kind of losses in terms of over budget or over timeline, he has to mention everything in the closing document. So these are primarily about 5 to 6 KRAs or roles and responsibilities of project manager. So if you want to become a successful project manager, what are the skills that you should possess or you should try and improve over a period of time? Number one is time management. Number two is communication. Number three is problem solver. Number four is knowledge of budgeting and financial management. Number five is you should be a leader to inspire and guide team members to work, to manage the entire requirements within the organization. Then you should also have a technical competence if the project requires some technical knowledge, or even non-technical project. You need to have a knowledge of the entire functionality of the project. If not very detailed, but you should know that if this project requires what all skills, how long it will take to complete every milestone. So that kind of technical competence you should have. Then you should also be a decision maker, because there would be a lot of time that you will have to make quick decisions in order to move the project smoothly. So you should also be a decision maker, guys. And then the last one is the collaboration, because the project management involves a lot of collaboration. It could be with your client, it could be with different department managers, and it is also with your own team that you have to collaborate and work together to complete a project. So there are about 10 skills, guys, you should look at if you want to become a successful manager. So what are the industries where PM plays a vital role, or the industry who hires project managers? You know, engineering is there, architecture, you have education, you have government organization, you have non-profit organization, you have construction industry, and then you have healthcare industry, you have finance industry. So almost all major industry needs a project manager. So how much can you make actually? So that is the most important point, that how much can you make becoming a project manager? So in India, the average salary for a project manager could be from 6 lakhs to 10 lakhs, and it can go up to 40-50 lakhs also, depending on your skills, experience, and the industry you work for. In US, the average salary for project manager is about $70,000 to $80,000 per year. Similarly for Canada, in UK, I think it is about 50,000 pounds a year. So you also have a data here on the screen. You can always refer here. So what are the courses you need to study to become a project manager? See, you don't have to. So there are a lot of postgraduate and graduate programs focus on project management as well. But I would say whether you are any graduate, BA, BCom or engineer, you can still pursue project management in the certification form. So basically there are a lot of certification courses for understanding the entire project management and its methodologies and processes. So some of the common certification courses for PMP is, you have PMP, that is the most popular and accepted across. Then you have CAPM, then you also have Agile Master course, then you have Scrum Master course, then you have Prince 2. So there are about 8 to 10 different certification courses for project management. So it actually depends on the project that you are doing, the methodology that you follow in that project. There are different methodologies that I may not be able to cover in this video. So there is a waterfall methodology, and then there are different methodologies within project management. So overall, you have a lot of options, but the most accepted and widely acknowledged one is PMP, and you can always go for. And in my in the video, in the further video, we will talk about more of PMP exams here. So guys, depending on the project requirements or a nature of the project, there are different methodologies you can use, and depending on those methodologies, you can look for those certification courses like I mentioned earlier. Now we will talk about PMP exam, how to clear it, what is the eligibility of PMP exam, how much minimum marks requirement that you have to clear this exam and gain the certificate. So PMP exam is a short form for Project Management Professional Certification. It is issued by PMI USA, Project Management Institute USA. The idea was to bring a standardized processes, a standardized way of managing the project, and it is all mentioned in your PMP exam or the studies. When you go through it, you will learn the entire process around project management. So what is the eligibility? Let us understand what is the eligibility of PMP exam. So let us understand what is PMP. If you are certified PMP, you can also mention PMP along with your name, like you do for MBA, you do it for doctor. Like that, you can also mention PMP tag. You also get certificate if you go through this exam and clear the examination. So this PMP examination certificate is globally recognized and acknowledged for expertise, knowledge that you gain to become a project manager. It is actually issued by an institute called Project Management Institute based out of USA, but they also have chapters and divisions across the world. So PMP certification covers the entire project life cycle, guys. Entire project life cycle means right from initiating to control, monitor, closing the project. You have all the entire life cycle of the project. So the role of PMP is to provide the knowledge to project managers to manage the entire life cycle of the project, guys. So project life cycle means you have initiating, planning, you have then controlling, monitoring and closing the project. So it covers the entire life cycle, and it also has all the processes defined in this certification. So if you go through this PMP certification course, you will understand what are the standard practices implemented across the industries, across the world, and you will find it that it is more or less standard, but sometimes they are customized as well according to the project, according to the company's guidelines or company's requirements as well. So let us understand the structure of PMP exam. A lot of people find difficult to clear the PMP exam, or they always think that whether I should do a PMP exam. They have been doing project management for years in their professional world, but they still feel whether they should do it. My suggestion is you should definitely do a project management course. It adds a lot of value, and it also gives you a lot of knowledge to manage the project more professionally, more systematically. So the structure of PMP exam is basically a 200 multiple choice question, and it covers questions on initializing, controlling, planning and monitoring, closing the project. So it covers all the basically processes and knowledge around that exam, and it also you need to have a minimum of about, I think, 60% to clear that exam. I think around 140 marks out of 200 you have to clear that exam. And then to clear the exam, you need to have to apply for the exam, PMP exam. There is a certain eligibility criteria set by PMI, and let's understand what are those eligibility criteria. So what is the eligibility of applying for PMP exam? So if you are a graduate, you need to have at least 3 years of experience in managing the projects, or 4,500 hours of working experience in managing the project, of course. If you're not a graduate, you need about 7,500 hours of work experience in managing the project, or you could calculate it about 5 years of professional experience in project management. So this is your experience criteria, and additionally, if you are applying it for the first time, you need to go through a training of about 35 hours. You can find a lot of online courses which can give you 35 PDUs. That actually gives you the eligibility to apply for PMP exam. What is PDU? PDU is Professional Development Unit. It is a unit of measuring your knowledge. It is a unit of measuring your contribution to project management. And so you need about 35 PDUs, as well as either a graduate with 3 years of experience or a non-graduate with 5 years of experience to apply for this exam. And remember, when let's say you clear the exam, you will still need to renew this certificate. So the validity of this certificate is about 3 years, and you get additional 1 year as a buffer period to renew it. And to renew it, you need a 60 PDUs, and those PDUs you can achieve about 35 PDUs by going through some learning programs or seminars, and 25 you can achieve through other mediums. You can always refer to the PMI USA website So PDU is how it is calculated. Basically, PMI wants to ensure if you are entering into a project management professional course, you keep learning and you keep contributing to a lot of other activities or development around project management. And what is the fee for PMP examination? I think if you take a membership with PMI, you have to pay about $400. If you are not a member, you pay about $550. So initially, I suggest that you take a membership because you get access to a lot of resources, webinars, and other information on their website. So it's always good to take a membership plus PMP fee, which is about $550, guys. So all the best. And so I'm very excited to share my tips and how I cleared my PMP exam. So basically, I took training. So I opted for physical training where the trainer was physically present. We were about 7 to 8 people applying or preparing for PMP exam, and it was a nice experience. The trainer was wonderful, and so I took that. And what I did, I would also suggest you is you book an exam date. So you go to their website, you book an exam date. That actually creates a pressure on you, and you have a target. So let's say what I did was I planned for 12 weeks. So I took about 3 months, including the time for physical training, and then preparing for it. And I actually cracked it in my first attempt. So that is what I suggest, that you book the date initially so that you know you have to cover it up this much of syllabus and then apply for the and go for the exam. And the number 2 is always use PMBOK guide. That is what the exam is based on. There are a lot of books available in the market, but PMBOK is the number 1, and I suggest you go through it thoroughly once or twice. That is more than enough. For practice, you can always look for a lot of mock exams available. Those are available online. You can take some of those. Then third one I suggest is you join couple of communities. There you get a lot of information around a lot of concepts and knowledge areas in project management. And then lastly, be focused and be consistent. Let's say you decide that you want to apply for the project management exam after 3 months. For those 3 months, be focused, study every day. You don't have to study a lot, guys. It is not a very, very difficult exam. That's the good news for you. All you need is a thorough read and understanding of all the topics in the PMBOK guide. And the second book I referred was Rita Marchetti. That book also you can refer for some complex exams. You don't have to go through the entire book. The book I would still suggest, PMBOK guide, PMBOK, is more than enough. So guys, go for PMP. It will definitely add value, and you will see you can always switch jobs. You get more salary. You grow in your career, in your knowledge, and apply for PMP exam. All the best. And if you need any guidance, please feel free to reach out to me. I've also provided LinkedIn link in my description box. You can always connect me over there. And then lastly, there are some experts who cover a lot of content on project management PMP exam in YouTube as well. You can always subscribe to their channels and gain a lot of knowledge there. Thank you and all the best.